Hello everybody, welcome back to Team DissTube, and this time I did not come alone. Say hi.
Hi.
Alright, so today, we have a new member who might come for a few reviews, hopefully. And today we're going to be discussing the Barbie movie that recently came out.
So good.
Just kidding.
Comedy.
Yes, comedy gold indeed.
Yes.
Alright, so I think we should at first start by just describing the plot. By the way, this is a spoiler review in case anyone cares about that. I just want to get that out of the way. The Barbie world is essentially this super idealistic matriarchy where all the Barbies are in charge and the Kens are kind of just off to the side. And it's super cool and fun and dandy until one day Barbie, played by Margot Robbie,
which is really good.
Yeah, she was really good. I don't see why some people think that she doesn't look good enough, because she does.
She looks awesome.
Basically, Barbie questions, does anyone think about death? And then, the world freezes, and after that, she suddenly starts noticing things the next day aren't completely perfect all the time.
Yeah.
And
because the worst thing happened. She gets flat feet.
You're right. Flat feet is a huge issue.
Yeah.
It is a very serious issue. Oh, by the way, there's this guy, specifically Ken. He's blonde and he's played by who is the actor's name?
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling.
Who, in my opinion, also did a really good job in the Grape Man. Another really good action movie.
I haven't seen that, but someday I will. And
totally worth it.
Oh yeah, of course, naturally. The thing is that he plays Ken, and he's isn't really her boyfriend, but he wants to be, and she kind of puts him off to the side.
Yeah.
She has girls' night every night, which is never including for him, so he kind of just is put on the sidelines. But the most important thing is that after this, she goes to see the quote-unquote weird Barbie, I believe. And
which everyone has to have at least one of. Yeah,
I'm sure everyone has had at least one Barbie thing that is weird. And if I was into Barbie, I probably would have had that, but I didn't. Long story short, she goes to the weird Barbie who makes a reference to The Matrix, another very good movie.
Red pill or blue pill.
Mm-hmm.
Make your choice.
And then because of that, she finds out that her owner in the real world must be having a hard time, and that's why she decided to make her Barbie doll have this little crisis. Yeah, to be depressed. And so she and also Ken unknowingly decide to go to the real world to basically try and convince her owner to fix the issue.
Basically make them no longer depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the people in charge of the Barbie brand and the boss is played by Will Ferrell are afraid.
Which does a really good job.
Oh yeah, always. It's Will Ferrell. That's only natural. Yeah. They try to stop them because they're afraid it might ruin their sales.
And I think it was because it will be a multiversal disaster.
Or that, yeah. So
the FBI does call them.
Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to say before, as we really get into this, let's start with that. I think this movie, off the bat, kind of reminded me a lot of the Lego Movie, which I've already said in one of my other videos is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I know!
Yeah, the Lego Movie is incredible, and I think it blends the real world and fantasy world together really well. And I think that this movie kind of does it more like how a lot of other movies would do it, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because of how it's handled.
Yeah, there's so many moments in the Lego Movie where I was thinking, take my money, Lego!
Well, yeah. So, I think, looking at the movie, there's a couple political themes that I think the movie was very, very blunt about, and I kind of admire it for that. I went into it thinking it was going to be good because so many people were hyped for it, and I was like, hey, you know what, this might be good, and it has an interesting premise. But I honestly got blown away by, how it actually decided to present it.
I was thinking, this is going to be a movie that'll entertain me for an hour or two. And then after I watch it, this might actually be something that I watch once every summer.
Oh yeah, like definitely.
Yeah, definitely is good with like a summer theme, like with all the pink.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I do think like while the effects were very, very good, I think it could have like I think I'm gonna make the argument that like isn't necessarily a criticism, but it's more of just like a constructive critique. I think that all the stuff in the Barbie world should have been animated, and then all the stuff in the real world, well, basically stays the same. I just think like with how much like wacky stuff happens in the Barbie world, because it is supposed to be very idealistic as it is, then like I think it would have been better if all of those segments were animated.
That could be cool.
I think that would have like fit the vibe even more, but that's just me.
In my opinion, Barbie World's still pretty nice.
Oh, it is, for sure. I'm not trying to say it isn't. I'm just saying that like I think it could have been even better. That's all.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, like, before I really get into more of the political stuff, I want to get this out of the way. My least favorite part of the movie, which wasn't even that bad, was the part where, like, the daughter of, like, the woman who owned the Barbie called her a fascist. Like, and it's not even because, like, it wasn't even a badly written scene. I just think it was just really sad. And she just starts crying afterwards. Just like, I just feel so bad for her.
Emotional damage.
Yeah, you bet. Speaking of emotional damage, I want to talk about something that I actually really liked about the movie. And it was the fact that, like, the movie kind of, like, talks about, like, some, like, toxic rabbit holes that a lot of people, and by a lot of people I mean very specifically straight men, can like fall down into. As we established before that like Ken, like he kind of felt like he was just like he wasn't real, like he didn't feel like he was fully a friend of Barbie because like she kept just like pushing him off to the side. And then when he comes to the real world, he finds out that it's like the other way around, that men have all the power, and then he decides to take these ideas back. Of course, in the back of his heart, he's not trying to like cause any harm. He's just been radicalized into thinking that this is what Barbie wants, and that to do this, she will like him more. And you know what? I can't help but think that that's the journey that a lot of other men have gone on, especially in the last few years, where they think they've been like robbed of a romantic or heroic narrative, and they find these really fringe like websites and communities, usually online, that basically tell them that you are entitled to it simply for being a man. And it's just like, it's really messed up, but I'm glad the movie called it out. And I'm also glad that the movie, spoilers again, doesn't like really act like it's even truly a villainous role. Like, it's Ken and the other Kens become like antagonistic for sure, but like in the end, when like the Kens get overthrown, he just starts crying in the room that he stole from Barbie, and he like, because like, and he even admits that he dropped patriarchy after he found out it wasn't about riding horses and shit. And it's just like, and he even basically admits that he just wanted to like impress her, and like I like that she forgives him and acknowledges that there was something she probably could have done on her part without just fully giving him what he wanted, because that would kind of be like pro-abuser if they did. So instead, like, she basically, after her journey, learning that she doesn't need to be perfect all the time, which was also really well done, she basically teaches him that like maybe he doesn't need to be so reliant on her in order to like find himself. And he becomes way happier. I'm just Ken off. Oh, by the way, his villain song, I'm Just Ken, is like phenomenal, and that was my favorite part of the movie.
That one was so good. I added that to my playlist.
Oh yeah, me too. I added that to both to like my Dank Tunes playlist. I added that to my liked song playlist, and I also added it to my villain songs playlist. Oh yeah. That was the highlight of the movie. If we don't count that scene, the other scene that I think was like my favorite was probably the one where the mother-daughter duo come back to like help Barbie get out of her self-doubt, and like she has this huge, the mom has like this huge like monologue about how how hard it is to be a woman, and that actually kind of opened my eyes a bit. I already was starting to like get out of a bad mindset when I was watching this movie, but hearing that, I was like, Oh my god. Let me ask you, how many times have you seen, like, skincare directed at men, or, like, stores for, like, underwear, but only for men? Or, like, how basically every single, like, clothes ad is, like, always exclusively targeted at women?
Oh, yeah.
That, like, that's, like, mostly for women, because women have so much more pressure to, like, look nice.
Yeah. Also, speaking of ads in general, you know what's crazy? The fact that I'm getting ads for car insurance on a teen profile
Yeah.
while I'm watching anime. Why? I mean, like, if I'm on a teen profile, I'm expecting only ads for R-rated movies.
Naturally.
Yes, because that's what every horror movie teen does. Stupid crap.
Why?
I'm just thinking, this is so true.
Yeah, and I think that was, like, the driving force of the movie, which was that they, like, that you are good enough just by being yourself.
Yes.
The last thing I wanted to bring up about the Barbie movie and, like, the political messages of it, I'm especially bringing this up because, like, there were certain people who I've already complained about in the Elemental one, which I showed you before, that, like, that were, like, basically losing their shit because they thought that the movie was teaching you that men are bad and that women are just always good, and it's like, no, it's not. In fact, if anything, it's saying the gendered standards for both men and women are too, like, toxic.
Yeah.
I think it's actually saying that the standards that humanity creates for itself are bullshit and we need to break away from them and just be who we are.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the message that I got from it, and I just think, like, these other people obviously aren't watching it correctly. I've already renounced them, so, like, I don't want to just keep beating a very, very dead horse. It's a very, very white dead horse, by the way.
Let's just have one moment to sit down and talk about Alan.
Oh, yeah, Alan. Literally, the moment I saw him, I thought, oh, God, is that Michael Cera? And it was.
Yeah, the moment I saw Alan and I'm saying he's just Alan to me, you are instantly best character in whole movie.
Oh yeah, he was, and like he even fought some fought some assholes to help the mother-daughter duo.
That was one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
But back to the point I was making about, like, the movie is apparently anti-man. It really isn't, because, like, if that were the case, the men would have been punished and they would have went back to, like, the super matriarchal society that they had in the beginning. Except they explicitly decide not to do that. I just remember when it seemed like they were going back to normal and Barbie specifically said, like, no, I don't want things to go back to the way they were.
I remember that.
Yeah, like, that was also a really great scene. There are so many really great scenes. Holy crap.
There's so many good scenes.
Because of that, I just think, like, I think people who say the movie's anti-man probably just closed their brains off the moment that they saw that, like, Ken was turning into an antagonist because of his desire to make Barbie notice him.
Yeah.
Please notice me, senpai!
Yeah.
So I think that'll be it for today's video. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and request any other movies that I might need to review. And, like, the next time that we see a movie together, we gotta do this again.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, of course. And I really appreciate that you decided to, like, help me with this.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Anyway, hope you guys all have a great night. And, well, you know, I actually made it a whole video without mentioning Disney. Oh, boy.
Oh no, you just mentioned it.